You mentioned the barn in that little tale,
Yeah.
and I think maybe the barn was you had a rental property. Was
Yes,
that
it
was that it?
Yes, Rake's Barn was a rental property which we ran for 21 years. And in the course of the 21 years we had some very amusing people came to stay. Quite a lot of them were professional people. We had a retired police superintendent, doctors, Lloyd's underwriters, various people like teachers and things. We had a Catholic priest came once, and he certainly enjoyed his whiskey. Because when we came to empty the bins after the week, I can't recall, but it was not one or two, it was maybe 10 or 11 whiskey bottles that we took away. They got a phone call from the agency, could we take a booking, as the property they got they didn't like, and I said, well, I'm very sorry but I can't do it today because we're just redecorating the dining kitchen and utility room. But I said, they can come tomorrow. Well, can they come and look? I said, yes, all right. So they came to look. They came the following morning. They were coming down the road about 6:30, and I think they must have slept in the car all night because they looked like Ragtag and Bobtail. And I was in the process of trying to get the house straight for them to come in. And he said, stop cleaning up, we're having the kettle on and we're having a brew. And whatever cleaning up's not been done, forget it. And when I got later on talking to him, I found out he's a retired police superintendent, and his daughter who was with him was the chief treasurer for Oxfordshire County Council. So, and in his retirement, this gentleman was a bursar for Oxford University.
Really?
It were very nice people, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had one family who came for 15 years.
Really?
Yes. And they came from Atlanta, Georgia. The gentleman, Roy, had been in the services, I think it would be the RAF, because they were stationed at Burtonwood. It was that RAF, I don't think it was on.
Yeah.
And in the course of his stay here, met a British girl, married her, and they went back to America. But they had to come to England every year to see family and a holiday. And they always came at the end of May and left at the end of June. They were superb people.
That's not the family that you've now
that's
still
another,
got connection, that's another one.
Another camp.
Oh, well, you might be able to tell us about
Completely
that.
different, yeah.
It's a different family altogether.
That is why we went to America so many times.
I believe so.
And Mrs. Holden always said home was England. And he once asked me what was my opinion, and I said, well, to me, home is where you sleep. Regardless of where you've actually come from, it's where you sleep is home. But they were a superb couple, and they, as I said, they came for 15 years, and they unfortunately, the demise happened about 3 years ago, and their ashes were actually brought back to this country and interned in a graveyard in this country.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Mr. Holden's family, in America, a lot of people move around, they don't stay put. And his grandparents were buried up in Canada. Some of his uncles and aunts and grandparents, his great-grandparents were buried in Canada. His grandparents were buried in 2 different states in America. And he had relations here, there and everywhere, so there were no real roots. So she wanted to come back to England, so they agreed to it. And we actually went to the funeral service.
We did?
Yeah. Very nice. But on the whole, we've had some very nice people. We had one family came, and we had the milk cows in this field. And I said to them, well, you'll have to excuse me, I'll have to go and see which cows are bulling. Now, that to us is in season. I went across the field and had a look, and then when I came back, he said, what did you mean by a bulling? So I thought, here goes, have an explanation. So I explained the ins and outs of cattle and that. Oh, he says, I've seen that when on my travels, and I wondered what it meant. Now I know. Yeah, on the whole, they were very nice people. Yeah. We had some children come. We had quite a lot of children came. We had lambing sheep at one time.
I was going to tell that tale.
Well, go on.
Because
tell
this sheep was having very great difficulty lambing, and these two boys would be about 12 and 10 and 12, and they're still looking over the gate, and I'm struggling to get this lamb, and it was a big single lamb, and I struggled for sort of 10 minutes to get this lamb out, and he said, I finally got it out, thinking it would be dead, but anyway, he led there, and after about me struggling for a few minutes to revive it, it gave a breath and came back to life. But the man was filming me all the time, but he shouldn't have been filming me. He should have been filming those two boys' faces, because they were. And then I heard one of them say, "Is it dead, Dad?" and when this thing came back to life again, nobody were more pleased than I was.
For the little boys.
Yeah. No, they'll never forgot that. Yeah, you know. So,
lovely.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple came, and they were very nice people. And I said, well, it's no good, it's milking time, I'll have to go. And she said, what do you mean by that? I said, well, the cows need milking. Well, she said, we get it out of the supermarket in a bottle. I said, yes, but it comes from a cow first. She'd never seen anything like this, so we took it down to the farm to watch what was going on. So she said, well, how often do you milk them? So John said, every day. And she says, what, once a week? He said, no. I said, no, 7 days a week, 52 weeks of the year, and that's it, and twice a day. Well, she said, do you even milk them on Christmas Day? And I said, yes, they have to milk twice a day, every day. And it was surprising the number of people who didn't realise that these sort of things have to take place.
No, they hadn't made the connection between what
we had
one
couple came, and after the week was up, how have you gone on? Well, they said, we've had an awful job to sleep. I said, how do you mean? Why, you know, it's so quiet. There's no street lights, and it was far too dark, and we couldn't hear any traffic, and so we couldn't sleep. And so
different noises to be comforting to different people.
Yeah, no street lighting and things like that.
Because we'd hear the animals, wouldn't we?
See, it doesn't bother us, but you see, they're not used to it.
Absolutely.
I think the biggest laugh I ever had was a family who came, pure Cockneys, true Cockney people, and they came in a big red van. And the two men were sat in the front, and in the back they had two settees fastened to the side of the van, and four ladies sat on them, on the suitcases. And John said to me, he says, watch out, mother, they'll take all your furniture at weekend. And anyway, they came into the house, and the two men are carrying the cases upstairs, and there were two men and the wives and two grandmas. And one of the ladies shouts from the bottom stairs, what sort of sheets are on the bed? And the boys came back and said, the cotton, mother. She said, that'll do. And I said, why? What, you know, is there something wrong? Oh, she says, I reckon out of this Pauline Island stuff.
Oh yes, remember the days of
Pauline Island. Yeah. And she, everywhere she went, she took her own sheets with her.
I don't blame her. You used to slip around on those nylon ones, didn't you? They're very strange.
Yeah. And then halfway during the week she rang up, she was in tears. I said, whatever's the matter? Well, I've broken one of your dishes. I said, well, it doesn't matter, worse things happen at sea. But she said, it's not right. So I said, well, if you're feeling so guilty about it, on your travels, just go in a second-hand shop or a charity shop and find something to replace it. And she did. Yeah. And she said, I found one, which is not just exactly the same. Will it be all right? I said, it'll be perfect. But yeah, on the whole, over 21 years, we had some great people and some good laughs. But I think there's one thing that learnt me a lesson was the people who came from Barbados brought their maid, nanny, whatever you like to call her, with them, who was dark-skinned. Telephone call, the electric's gone off. Right, I come up. What are you doing? I'm ironing. I thought, oh well, it's the electric iron that's gone wrong, and it's automatically tripped out the fuse box because it had a fairly modern fuse box in it. So I swapped it for my iron and left it, and it was working fine. So about 3 days later, a telephone rang again. The electric's gone off. Right, I come up. What are you doing? Ironing. Oh, sorry. So I got hold of the iron and shook it, and it had water put in it. So I said, you've got water in this iron? Yes. How did you put it in? Oh, we put it under the tap.
Not plugged in.
Filling the iron with water.
So that, I thought, right, so the same iron went out, and the electric iron came in, but it was one that didn't need water. But somebody could easily have electrocuted themselves.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
We had decided to have a new carpet in that lounge. It's quite a big lounge, and so the carpet fitter should have come on the Saturday, but he rang up and said he couldn't come till the following week. So we said to these people that were in, did we mind if they went out on the Wednesday and we put they had a new carpet? Oh, that were fine, that were lovely. And the man the night before helped me carry the furniture out, and they said they'd come back. She says, I love a new carpet. I want to be the first person to walk on that new carpet. And she was absolutely, that was just what she wanted.
Yeah, it made her holiday.